I grew up playing golf, not for the leisure aspect. I grew up playing golf because it was a sport, because it was a competition. Now it's like, okay, like I don't want to drink too much. It's like there's still like a level of
You still want to compete.
I still want to
Yeah,
compete to a
because it's still a
degree.
sport. Yeah.
Exactly. It's still a sport. It's like I still want to go out there shoot even. I want to play good.
It's only a sport to people who are good at it, by the
Correct.
way.
Yeah, that's why it's not a sport to us. That's why it's leisure for us.
All right, CJ, we got an infamous guest, the one that helped us get started with Not Advised to begin with. And now he's joining us for our journey on Yapaholics as well. JD, how you doing?
I'm good.
Tell us a little bit about what you got going on these days, man.
So, for the people that don't know me, which is everybody, my name is JD. I have a video production company. We do a lot of social media content where not only do we create, content for like service-based companies, we do a lot of podcasting. We're very big in the golf space. So we have some golf clients that I have a lot of fun working with. But that's kind of like what I do. But as far as like the podcast stuff, like I have an affinity for it because it's more of my background. Went to school for broadcast television, did an internship with a film company, and now what I do is almost kind of like both, which I think is kind of where I've found a really great spot, like, doing a lot of podcast stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, you're sitting here with us. You know, we enjoy the podcast space ourselves.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here without you.
And you know a little
Literally.
bit about the show. As
A
you
little
know,
bit.
we like to do a little bit of a pour. And today we have Four Roses,
Small batch.
small batch, one of my favorites. And we like to review one sip and then give a little bit of a rating, 1 through 10.
Only one sip.
Yeah, one sip, everybody knows the rules.
We'll do more sips, but one sip to give your rating,
What do you think, Matt?
unless you prefer to take another sip. I'm not going to stop you from taking another sip.
What do you think?
I love it, dude. And maybe it's just a mental thing that it's Four Roses, but to me, it has more of a floral note to it, and it's so good to me.
This one's got more of a bite than one of the other ones we've had on the previous podcast.
The 1792
Yeah.
small batch as well.
Mhm. This one to me is,
That's funny. I think the other one has a bite. That's weird how that works.
yeah, I'm going to go with 7.9.
Wow.
I do really enjoy Four Roses, but it's not my favorite we've had so far.
I really, really I've never had Four Roses,
I love Four Roses.
but I think after having it, I think I'd give it like an 8.3.
I actually was going to go like 8.4. So I think I like it more than I like Woodford, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it's way better.
Woodford's just my go-to. Yeah. It's like a comfort pick.
Yeah, I like the Russell's Reserve 10-year. Very good. This tastes a lot like it.
Yeah.
To me.
I haven't had that one yet. So.
What's the one we had at the Super Bowl?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember
You
either.
don't remember?
No.
Bro, that was a lifetime ago.
That was
Yeah,
forever
that's a long
ago.
time I'm like, this is my favorite one.
I can see the bottle.
Me too, but I don't remember the name.
It was the only one you were like, that's good, because you tried, what was it? You tried the Big Stick. The Big Stick, that's a Texas whiskey. That was okay. You liked it. And then you had, I don't think it was Penelope, but I just remember you're like, that's a good one.
Yeah, that one was delicious. I do remember loving that one a lot. Yeah, Four Roses definitely. I knew I loved Four Roses. I've had it quite a few times.
One thing one particular note that I love with a lot of my bourbons is how it burns on the way down.
That's how I know it's real.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I know
yes.
it's the quality. The worse the burn, the better it is.
But it can't be that's why I don't like a Texas whiskey, because it truly burns and
Oh,
it's,
no.
doesn't feel good.
There's a difference.
But there's a difference, like when it's smooth and it's like sharp, kind of like down your throat. Like,
yeah, but when it's burning and I'm like making a face because it's so warm and hot going down.
Yeah.
Like I don't want it. I don't want it in any kind.
I like it whenever it's like that whole mouth feel of a little bit of a burn. It's not like hurting, and then it doesn't hurt going down. It's just that kind of warm feeling. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite things about bourbon, and I'm sure other liquors give you that same sensation, but I've never felt it the way that I've felt it with bourbon. So
I just enjoy the whiskey and the bourbons. I can't do light colored liquor. I'm not a fan of it.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, one of the things about light colored liquor that actually can lead me perfectly into my next little talking point here about JD is you were big into golf in college, right?
Yeah,
College golfer.
I went to college, played golf. Yeah, I did go to college, but in college I played golf. I was a 4-year starter, went to Southeastern University down in Lakeland, Florida. Small NAIA school. We were actually pretty good. We were the first team at Southeastern whenever we transitioned into the NAIA to win a conference championship. So that was really cool. Now it's like now the team wins conference championships like it's
Yeah.
like it's nothing.
Now it's expected.
Yeah, it was a really big deal for us. So it's like we were kind of the trendsetters for the school and the golf team.
Right, and the reason I even brought up light liquor is because a big thing on the golf course is transfusions, and that's made with light liquor.
Ugh, no thanks.
Not a big fan of
No.
transfusions.
Yeah, I'm good.
No way.
Oh, you're not either?
I mean, I like them, but it's like for me, it's like if I'm playing golf, like, well, I guess the other thing too with golf is like I grew up playing golf not for the leisure aspect. I grew up playing golf because it was a sport, because it was a competition. So it's like my idea of playing and most everybody else's idea of playing is in two different worlds. So now if I'm going out to play, I mean, a lot's changed obviously since I stopped playing golf, but now it's like, okay, like I don't want to drink too much. It's like there's still like a level of
You still want to compete.
I still want to
Yeah,
compete to
because
a
it's still a
degree.
sport. Yeah.
Exactly. It's still a sport. It's like I still want to go out there shoot even. I want to play good.
It's only a sport to people who are good at it, by the way.
Correct. Yeah, that's why it's not a sport to us. That's why it's leisure for us.
That's why I love a transfusion. It hits different.
Well, it depends on how bad I'm playing too.
I can't drink it outside of the golf course, but
Oh, really?
yeah, I mean it does. It's something about the environment, the sun hitting my face. It's refreshing. Outside of it, it's like all I can taste is vodka.
Yeah. I grew up not thinking golf was like the most boring thing in the world. I really wish I would have got into it when I was younger. How did you get introduced to golf?
So it's funny. My cousin, who I didn't grow up here locally in Pensacola, but my cousin's from California. He was really big into golf, and I played football, baseball growing up. And then once we kind of got to like age, 10, 11, 12, like I just stopped growing and everybody else kept growing. And my dad was like, yeah, this ain't going to work out. But I was really good like when I was a kid. And then once my dad was like, yeah, he's just too small to keep playing because I would play like tackle, nose guard, linebacker. And it's just, I was too small.
Yeah, you got to have a bigger frame.
But, that's kind of when we made the transition to golf. My grandfather actually played, so I went out to the course with him, and he got me a lesson one day. And the teaching pro was like, "Hey, he's actually really good at golf. Like he's naturally talented." So then my dad was like, "Okay, like let's actually do this."
Lean into it.
Yeah. Then my dad started to connect all the dots, and then one thing led to another, and then I ended up playing.
That's cool. Yeah, so it really took one lesson for you to see for someone to see the potential in you.
I vaguely remember the lesson. It was somewhere in
course.
Biloxi, but
That person saw
he saw
that you
something.
were-
Thank
yeah.
God he saw something. I
Yeah,
don't know
that-
what he
that guy-
saw, but
that guy saw that you may be pretty good.
he probably saw more dollar signs. And he
I'm
was
sure.
like, "Yeah, he's good. Bring him back."
Yeah, let's keep giving him lessons.
Little do we know he says that to everybody.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, golf is still big in your life, though. Yeah.
Yeah, golf is still big. Because after I played college golf, I played professionally for a couple years, just doing some mini tour stuff here in like the Panhandle area. After that, I worked at Edwin Watts full time for a little bit. And then while I was at Edwin Watts, I ended up talking to the Ping sales rep. And I had a set of Ping clubs at the time. And I was like, hey, I really like these clubs. I think they're incredible. And he's like, cool. Do you want to be a tech rep? And I was like, yeah, I want to be a tech rep. Because essentially being a tech rep is like, I'm not selling clubs. I'm just fitting people for clubs. And when I became a tech rep, that's when I really started to understand what numbers do to the golf ball, like the way you're swinging and the direction of the club, et cetera, et cetera. It's
Sounds
just,
like we need to become tech reps,
Yeah.
to be honest with
We
you.
need to hire JD.
but it's crazy how once you kind of understand the bigger picture, or well, not, I don't want to say the bigger picture, but once you understand uh what the club does to impact the ball, your understanding of how to do something changes, because then your body can literally take over.
Yeah, I feel like I really need that because my body does take over in the wrong ways right now.
It
And
just goes wide right all the time.
I can't fix it for whatever reason.
Do you remember what we did to Matt that one time on the course? Twice.
Yeah.
Oh, that was insane,
Yeah.
dude. I can't believe that.
We
I still can't believe that
during a
happened.
tournament, we had some of those magical balls,
Exploding golf balls.
the exploding golf balls. Matt hit.
So funny.
And I had too much to drink to even notice it was
You didn't
happening.
even know.
One of them exploded with blue powder, and then we all yelled, "He's having a boy!"
And then right in front of the girls UWF team,
It was pink, and he's having a girl. It was incredible.
it was listen, it was a good time overall. I'm really mad that I got twice.
That's JD's fault, by the way. It was his idea.
It was your idea for the second one?
Well, yeah, I saw them and I was like, and I'm trying to think who's the best person to get. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be Matt. He doesn't know what a golf ball looks like.
Yeah, especially at that point in the day.
You could have gotten CJ too. He wouldn't have known.
But I think it was CJ that told me he had him.
Well, it's because Will probably was like, let's get Matt with this.
Yeah,
'Cause he's
Okay.
a little
Yeah.
stinker.
yeah,
I'm
that
coming for
was
you,
fun.
Will. I mean, just keeping it on the golf aspect of things, though. JD, I don't know how comfortable you are talking about this, but you're in on this journey with us for the charity golf tournament that we're going to be hosting later this year. And I believe we've kind of locked down more of a date. It's going to be mid-October.
Yeah. Mid-October. These guys came to me and they're like, hey, we want to do something, kind of big, connected to the podcast. We're thinking about doing this or that. We'll do it in maybe we'll think about it next year. And I was like, no, let's do it now.
Yeah.
Because we have to think of, okay, well, how are we going to, one, support a foundation that we actually care about, and two, raise more awareness of what we're doing in the Pensacola area. And me putting on enough golf tournaments and being a part of enough golf tournaments, I'm like, this is a cakewalk for me, which is like, this is not in y'all's wheelhouse. But for me, I'm like, oh, it's actually a lot easier than you think, because you have the marketing side, you have the sponsorship side, you have the golf logistics side, and it kind of checks all the boxes with my background and what I do professionally. So I was like, let's just go ahead and do it. We came up with a game plan, and now now that we've picked a date, or at least a general range, we know exactly what to give the community.
Yeah, and we can start to lock down other things that we're looking for, such as pre-sponsorships. If anyone is interested in anything like that, we can kind of lock you down now for a cheaper price than when we actually run all of our sponsorships out and start trying to get people on heavily. So if you're listening to this and you want to join in and possibly give to a good cause as well, hit us up, DM us, text us. Most of y'all know our numbers, so
We'd love to have you. I was so far into 2027 thinking about it because I had no idea where to even begin.
oh my God, it was so funny. CJ brought it up to me one night. The next day, me and JD were like running with it, essentially. Like, let's do this now. And CJ's panicking. He's like, I didn't know this was going to happen so fast.
Without me being pushed for something, I'm like, oh, it's fine. It'll be a future me problem. And then JD's like, no, we can do it this fall, this October. I'm like,
and immediately I jumped on the train. I was like, yeah, absolutely, we can do this year.
Yeah, because from a marketing brand, it's like no brainer. We have 6 months. You can roll things out, within a certain timeline. So like Matt said, it's like, hey, like a lot of the sponsors, it's like we're not really worried about getting sponsors. I think we're more worried about getting the right sponsors, because it's like, hey, we need to make sure it aligns with what Yapaholics, is doing, what we're going to do, as well as the charity. So it's like there are, I don't want to say different levels to this, but it's like we want to be really selective with like who's partnering with us, because that's a direct reflection of who Yapaholics is.
yeah, super intentional about what the plan for it is.
Which, by the way, I know Matt maybe hasn't said it, but there will be like a very intentional networking event that we have immediately after the golf tournament. And that's something like, I mean, I know we all, our business owners, we all do business here in Pensacola. But that's something in addition to the golf that I'm actually really excited for, because I think the way that we're going to do the networking is going to be very different than how a lot of the other networking groups, do networking around here. So
And that's one thing that's going to separate our tournament from just about everybody is the intention for what the after party is going to be. We don't want people just to show up to the tournament, have a good time, and leave. We want people to show up, have a good time, and then meet new people afterwards.
100%.
And we've said this before about it, but this is the best time to do it because there's a lot of people who go to networking and have a hard time talking to people. This is going to be something where everyone in that room is going to have something already in common. Ask about their day on the course.
Yeah, it's the easiest way to start the conversation. And then if you're me, I'm going to tell you how bad I did, and then we're going to laugh and make fun of me together, and then conversations flow naturally.
And then you'll close the deal right after that.
Absolutely.
It sounds like a great day to me.
Sounds like a great day.
That's the perfect way to spend a day. Well, we can transition just like you did from golf to your business. How does going from being a college golfer get you prepared to running your own business in Pensacola?
Yeah, tell us a little bit more detail about what your current business is, what the goal for it is, and how college prepped you for it.
So, as far as how I don't want to say college prepped me for this, but I feel like the athletic side of college prepped me more for my business.
Yeah, the schooling itself.
The schooling itself was good. I'll say the schooling itself was great, but when it comes to doing school and running your business, they're literally two different worlds. So, but like being an athlete meant like, hey, like you are essentially judged for how good or how bad you are on the course. And as a golfer, everything kind of boils back down to like you are literally in control of your future. With business, it's kind of the same thing, especially if you have a company that you start from the ground up. It's like you are literally in control of how much money you could actually make. And it's all about, hey, how good are you at your workflows? How good are you with your systems? How good are you with your marketing, your networking, et cetera, et cetera? There's all these different components in business that create your business as a collective. Same thing in the golf world. You have all these different parts of your game, and the better you are at each one of them, hey, you could be Scotty Scheffler if you wanted to be, or you could be CJ,
One end of the spectrum to the other.
Exactly.
I'm so glad you didn't use me as that example.
I was, but I was looking at him.
But you are right.
But so yeah, that's essentially how it kind of prepped me for me doing what I do. And like within my business, it's like me, I have my company Image Makers where we do a lot of visual storytelling. We do a lot of podcasts, like I said. We do a lot of content creation, social management. But outside of that, like where I really got started in my business journey was with the wedding space. And with weddings, it's almost like a parallel to golf. You only have one opportunity to like actually get the shot. You can't go and redo it. You can't say, hey, go back and kiss. Like, hey, my camera died. It's just like, if you miss it, you miss it. And you're not going to stop the wedding for that. Like that's their day and you're there to capture the day. So it's like, that was kind of my gateway to the quote unquote live event space when it comes to making money. So I felt literally, I remember my very first wedding was down in Sarasota. I remember the same exact feelings, the same exact amount of stress that I would feel on the course. And it's kind of like the more competent you are at doing the job, it becomes a whole lot easier, each and every time you do it. But like there is that healthy level of what's the word I'm looking for? There's that healthy level of being nervous because it's like, hey, it's still wedding day. Like there's like the bride's still about to walk down the aisle. There's like, what's actually gonna happen? Like, is she gonna trip? Is she gonna smile? Is she gonna laugh? I've seen it all, but it's like those kind of things are like, hey, like that tells me, hey, I'm in the right space. And like we still shoot a lot of weddings. Yeah, we shoot a lot of weddings. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I had somebody inquire about, a wedding in Mexico in a month. And I'm like, okay, like, how do I get this done? And,
And that's got to be such a cool opportunity for yourself as well.
yeah, it was actually one of my 2026 goals was to like book a destination wedding. Like we've been, all across the country to shoot weddings, but have never been out of the country, which is its own task. And I'm like, oh, cool. I might be doing this way sooner than I thought.
Before I get to my like legit question, that brought something to mind. Is that going to be like a bit of a vacation trip as well for you, or
That's the hope because it's like the way I'm going to try to do it, I'm going to try to bring my wife. I'll hire somebody locally to help me on the wedding day. But for the most part, like I'm going to try my best to turn it into a vacation because the guy who inquired. He's like, "Hey, we'll pay for your room, pay for your flight, pay for your travel. Like, just tell us what it's gonna cost to do it." And I was like, "Okay, like if we can figure something out, like I'll just take all that money, book my wife's stuff, and then we can just make it a little you know, two-person
Yeah,
vacation."
that sounds like a blast.
Yeah, a free vacation is a perfect payment for a job, to be honest.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that sounds incredible. Well, Pensacola is like the biggest small town on earth, right? So, in a place where your reputation precedes you, what does word of mouth do for your business compared to something along the lines of we talked about a little while ago after we got back from Atlanta, interest media, not social media, right? So, how does word of mouth affect you compared to maybe putting out stuff on socials for marketing?
I think the word of mouth is like it's the most reputable way to get your referral. It's like a word of mouth referral is as close to a hot lead as
Yeah.
you could
I
get.
mean, you have to mess that up.
You have to mess that up if it's like, "Hey, so and so called me to tell you," and it's like they probably don't know your price, they probably don't know your process, but because they trusted this other guy, it's like if you mess it up, that's on you and your systems and how you run your business. When it comes like the other way, say coming from social media or if it's a lead, from online or through your marketing, it's like it's going to be a cold lead, could be a warm lead, could be a hot lead, but generally for the most part you're going to get, cold leads or warm leads. And then it's like, hey, then you kind of still have so many other things set up in place relative to getting a lead in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, do you have anything to say about that, CJ?
Yeah, and with the difference between with the socials, especially on our side of things, being in real estate, it's basically the same way, right? Especially if the referral comes from a friend or a past client, like we have to mess that up completely to not be able to get them as a client versus on our side with the socials. I mean, they're about as cold as they can get. Like, so we have to do so much more work to build the trust, the rapport, to actually get them to turn into a client.
Well, and I think it turns into it's like you say this a lot. Not every realtor says this a lot, but it's like everybody always says, "Oh, I know somebody who does it. Oh, so and so does it." It's like my mom's a realtor, whatever, you know that. But when it does come down to that, it's like yes, even though that is true, that may not mean they are still the best fit for you and your needs. So it's like it's so important to vet the people that you're actually going to do business with, and it's like just because you have a family member that does something doesn't mean you should always work with them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we're all different and run our business in all different ways. So it's all about building the rapport with each other to make sure that it's a good fit long term. Because the relationship, the transaction may end at closing, but the relationship doesn't. Because there's always a need that comes up post closing. So you want to make sure you're comfortable enough to reach out to that person, say, hey, I need this guy or what's going on, with this that we can comfortably answer.
I was going to say the thing that came to my mind was like when you're explaining that it's like a good realtor, just for sake of me trying to understand you guys a little bit more, but if you take a handful or a plethora of really good realtors, my assumption is their process is probably going to be very, very similar from the very beginning to the very end to the next deal that you do with them. And my assumption is, well, if all realtors have a very similar process, like what's the easiest way to differentiate yourself? And it's obviously most likely personality. Right. And that's why I say it's like, well, even though I have a family member that is a realtor, it's like, well, is that personality, is their process gonna hold the same standard? And, are they gonna take care of you at the end of the day, for the next deal?
And that's why I think that presentation is everything,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we see it every day with houses. Like, it doesn't matter if a home has good bones in East Hill, if the pictures end up dark, if the yard is dead,
Oh, you don't wanna go look at it?
it literally loses value as soon as they see a bad image, right? So, can you give a tip to any homeowner, business owner, anyone trying to present themselves? How can they do that in 2026 without spending a fortune?
I mean, the easiest way if it boils back down to like showing your personality, I'm one to say don't overcomplicate it. Like we all have skill sets, we all have thresholds of what we can and can't do. Like someone like Trey, who you've had on the podcast, it's like someone like him, he can just pull his phone out and like say whatever he wants, and like his personality shows in his unique way. There are other people who are like, hey, I really need this podcast in order to like showcase my personality. It's like, okay, whatever is wired up in their brain a certain way is like that's just what they feel like they need, and they thrive in that situation. And then some other people are just like, hey, like I can't do X, Y, and Z, but I really like I'm really great at graphics, so I love to go do photo shoots and then create graphics and show value that way. I don't think it really matters, but I would say like, hey, tap into what you uniquely can do creatively, and then just run with that.
Would you agree with whatever creative way you want to do it that the video form is probably in this day and age the highest, the best way to go about it?
Yeah, so like every platform you look at, maybe with the exception of a few, are video first platforms. So if you have a video first platform and you try to push graphics 24/7, like what are the odds you're probably going to be successful? Close. It's just going to be a lot harder. Very, very low. So it's like in that sense, it's like you have to, one, kind of think of the algorithm, and then two, you have to think of like, well, what's my value proposition? And if you're gonna say, well, I think my personality is blah blah blah, and it's way better than these other guys, like, okay, well, prove it and show me. And it's like, oh well, I don't know how to open my phone up, or I don't know how to screen record. I'm like, okay, well, that's probably you problem, and you probably don't believe you're that, that influential.
Right. We asked Trey the same question, but I want to ask you, for the people that are afraid in this day and age to make video, what would you say to them, or what would be the first step besides just pulling out the phone and hitting the record button to get out of their head?
Outside of that, what I actually tell people is like, go into the mirror and talk to yourself. And like whatever it is you're trying to do, it's like go straight to the camera. I'm sorry, go straight to, the mirror and say whatever it is you're going to say. It's not an easy thing to do. Like if you're doing it and trying to practice a presentation, that's a great way to practice a presentation. You get immediate feedback on what you're looking at, and you get like, a full body view of it. So it's like, hey, if you're like twiddling your thumbs, if you got your hands in your pockets, like those are, or if you can't even look yourself in the eye while you're trying to say it, like that's going to feel exactly like you looking into the camera.
That's essentially what I did for this podcast. I looked myself in the mirror and I said, "This is Yapaholics.
How'd you say it?
This is Yapaholics.
One more time.
This is Yapaholics."
I love that. Yeah, see,
See, don't you feel it better?
Yeah,
Don't you
I
feel
do.
more confident?
It honestly helps so much. Like you let go of that like fear whenever you just see yourself saying it over and over again, and it doesn't feel like you have a pressure whenever you start to say those words. I get it. I had the same like frightening feel whenever I wanted to start this podcast, but it's just practice makes perfect.
yeah, once we do it, it's no longer that scary
Well,
feeling.
now it's like you guys don't think about the creative part of how you're going to come across to people. Now it's like you are exploring other options to like, okay, well, how do we communicate this value to that guy or this value to that individual? And it's like, hey, we checked the personality box. Now it's like, how do we check a different value box? And it's like, you don't know that until you start being creative and you start to do other things.
Yeah. And truthfully, I think that we've gotten a lot of value from having you on the podcast today, and I thank you a lot for sitting down with us. Go ahead and maybe give a little bit of your value speech. How can you help somebody? Where can people find you? What kind of client are you looking for?
So for us, we have a brand new, like we just rebranded to Image Makers. So if you find us on, Facebook, Instagram, I think we're on TikTok. But you can just find us at _image makers or at image makers. You should be able to find us. But people that we're looking for, we're just looking for people that are really passionate about showcasing their personality. And when I say people, it's like even the people inside the business. Like we just recently talked to Steak and Shake, and it's like, well, how do I showcase like Steak and Shake? I'm like, okay, well, who are the people walking into Steak and Shake? Like, who are they meeting? Oh, they're probably meeting the hostess. They're probably meeting the waitress. It's like we have to capture their personality. So it's like, however you can capture your personality is like that's what we're after. And if there is no personality within the business, it's going to be really hard for us to like just showcase the product or showcase like what they do. So it's like if you're really passionate about showcasing who you are, it's like we love to talk about a social media strategy.
I love that. And first impressions are final, essentially, right? So if you're looking to sell your house this year, DM us the word image and we'll give you a pre-listing checklist that makes your home look like $1 million. Don't waste that first impression. And it's been great talking to you guys. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, and until next time, guys.
We'll yap you later.